this is my makeup memory box. Welcome to everyone watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. Today I'm going to take you through the makeup memory box. In case you don't know what that is, I think I show this once a year. Whenever I declutter my makeup collection, you will hear me say things like, oh, this is maybe something for the makeup memory box. This is essentially a box of makeup of things that are very sort of reminiscent of my makeup journey. It's got really old things in here, like one of the first eyeshadows I ever used when I was in high school, till like some of the things I bought for videos that I have very fond memories of, to things that were sent to me in PR that are too pretty to declutter, etc, etc, etc. So I'm going to talk you through, there's quite a few eyeshadow palettes in here, but I'm going to save those till the end. We're going to start with the small things at the top first, and most of those are lip products, because those I put at the top because else they wouldn't go anywhere else. Oh, this is really, really gross. But one of my most used lipsticks of all time is this By Beauty lipstick in Rhubarb. This expired before I could use it up completely, and By Beauty is no longer a brand. So I decided to keep this around. This was a really, really beautiful shade. And then this also has the rubberized packaging that gets really sticky after a while. I did find myself to a By Beauty lab in 2019 when I was in New York. So I got 2 custom-made lipsticks. These are tailored to my tastes. I didn't love the scent I put in these, and I didn't wear these a lot for that reason. So this was the nude that I made, and then I got like a creamy nude and a matte, more like deeper toned red. But what I found after I made these, I discovered Lisa Eldridge, and these 2 shades that I made are exactly the same as Velvet Muse and Velvet Jazz. So I have those 2 lipsticks by a different brand that I like the formula of a lot better. And one of them, I think I put coconut scent in, and another one like a florally one. And it was the scents that really threw me off. And by now they have expired because By Beauty was more like natural ingredients, so they didn't last a very long time. I have a really special Catrice lipstick. This is like one of those glittery top coaty kind of things. The packaging is a little bit broken, but I just really like the glitters that it had. I have a, is this Besame? Besame in Snow White. So I found this brand really randomly as well when I was on that New York trip and got one of their lipsticks. There are some limited edition things in here. I got this, I think this is a Zishi lipstick that pops out and has this really nice ornate packaging. So I wanted to keep one of those. Or maybe it's the one that with the F. Not Zishi, the other one. Not Flower Nose. I don't know. They sent me some PR and I already forgot. Oh no. Then I have some like luxury brands in here. I used to think that I had to buy luxury makeup for it to be good makeup. So I've got some Dior lipsticks here. This is a Dior Addict lipstick, I think, where I just really love that holographic shine that it has. I didn't love the shade. This is the infamous 999 lipstick from Dior. This is one of the refillable ones. I like the shade, but I have other reds that I like better, so keeping this for the packaging. As for with this was one of their liquefied lipsticks. I no longer wear corals, but I really like how the liquid is inside it and it looks like a lipstick. Then I have, I think we're almost there. We're almost there. My favorite lip gloss ever by Catrice, but I discontinued it so quickly, but I did use one of these up in the past, but have one for the makeup memory box. Same thing for, I was like, where are the other ones? I have more. Here we go. Another Catrice lipstick that was discontinued, one that I used up completely in the past. This is the Power Plumping Gel Lipstick in 030. This was very similar to Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk, but in a more creamy formula, so I liked it better. I would no longer go for something this peachy though, but that was a beautiful nude. So I kept it because they discontinued it and it was one of my favorite lipsticks. Like, I have so much lipsticks, for me using up a lipstick and then wanting to repurchase is like it's a thing, you know, it's a thing. Like when I use up my Lisa Eldridge Velvet Muse, that used up lipstick is going to go in here because I like it so much. A limited edition MAC Rihanna lipstick. I think this is Riri Woo. Then I have a YSL lipstick. I just really like the packaging of this. This is the shade of the lipstick. It was too creamy. Didn't stay put. It wasn't a good look. Oh, here's my Dior Addict lipstick. I don't remember the shade of this, but I really just enjoy the packaging. Again, I have two Chanel lipsticks as well because Chanel is the master of nice packaging. And this vibrant pink shade at the time, it was everything to me, but pricey and just fun packaging, really. And this is not a special lipstick at all in terms of packaging or shade. This is shade 23 Rouge Orage by Chanel. But this was my first ever Chanel lipstick, my first ever like proper lipstick I ever bought in my lifetime. And I remember going to Germany with a friend of mine. This was like 16 years ago. And I sent him away because he was speaking fluent German, right, left, and center. I was like, I can speak German too. But because he was talking all the time, I didn't get to practice my German. So I bought this lipstick 100% in German. And I was so proud of myself. It's probably why I didn't like the shade in the end, but that's a whole other story. Another small thing that's lying on top is this little travel size of an Alien perfume from Mugler. This was a summer edition, and I took this with me on every single summer vacation for like most of the 2010s. So the minute I smell this, I'm on vacation, and because it's almost gone and it's expired, I'm no longer willing to take it with me on any trips, but this is memories, really. Like, the minute I smell this, I'm in, like, Toronto, because that's when I wore this perfume the most. So funny, huh? How scents are really sort of triggering those memories. More recent finds and also small things are two of the things that I picked up for myself while I was in Japan by Can Make and Saison. These are Japanese beauty brands. And I wanted to keep those in the makeup memory box because I got them in Tokyo while I was there last year. So you'll find that it's sometimes like this, like I bought it on a trip or whatever. A really beautiful limited edition from Catrice. This is a highlighter from a Valentine's Day collection. And I also still have some of my Too Faced things that I used to love. This is the Love Light highlighter in Ray of Light. This is where my love from peachy toned highlighters came from. A gel eyeshadow from Catrice, Chanel. I bought this actually off the recommendation of Lisa Eldridge. She uses in one of her videos. It's called New Moon. Really pretty, but it's dried up completely. One of the M Cosmetics blushes. I love the packaging of these. I didn't love the shade necessarily. And then I think most of the loose bits on top that are like small are gone. Not entirely, but most of them. I still have a little sleek face palette. I used to travel with this all the time. This came with me so many times, but I'm now always using my Dior one. And this sort of like NARS Orgasm, NARS Laguna sort of dupe kind of situation. No longer my jam, but I had this for like 15 years. It came with me on every trip. I'm going to hold that near and dear to my heart for a long, long time. So things don't have to be expensive for them to be in this box, let me tell you. One of my oldest products from when I first got into makeup, the Georgia powder from Benefit. I think this doesn't even have pan on. So this was a blush, but I used it as face powder. I don't even remember why. It had glitter in. I don't know why I would use it as a face powder, but I did. Oh, this is some of the oldest things I have. Like, this goes back to my childhood partly. Oh yeah, I got these two fragrances from my aunt at a sleepover when I was 8. So those are very expired. Here's that eyeshadow that I was talking about. This is the oldest eyeshadow in my makeup collection. This is by Bourjois. I got this when I was like 14, 15. Ooh, and it was green because my mom would always exclusively wear a green eyeshadow, so I wore green eyeshadow. There was no rhyme or reason to it, and the packaging is broken. And then these are some of my oldest eyeshadows from way back in the day, back when I thought makeup had to be expensive. I would put this white Chanel eyeshadow from like lash line to brow. Just so you know. And then I have this little itty bitty thing from Dior. This was a tester that I got with a mascara. And then I have a little YSL thing in here. And here you can see the dent. I wore this pink eyeshadow to death. Like, I wore this so much way back when. And then I just have a little fragrance set that my parents picked up from one of their trips to France years ago. So this is how the makeup memory box got started, in this little Dior jewelry case. That again was like part of a gift with purchase when I bought something else. I think actually that these are two of the things I got with those boxes. These are Dior limited edition. This is the Nude Tan Transat edition. This little nice ropey thing, far too golden for me, but I liked it at the time. And I think this is one of the blushes. Glowing Gardens, no, it's the highlighter thing with this nice floral design. So still have those, and these are really nice and heavy. Like, you can see the tarnishing on these. These are actual metal compacts. They're not plastic. This is a Ciate blush that I got years ago on a trip to the US, which is why I still have it, but I still have plenty of shades like this, so wasn't using it over other things, so I had to go in here. And then I still have some of my older Dior eyeshadows. I think this is Graphic Lights, yeah. This was also a limited edition from Dior. I love my pinks. I wouldn't wear a pink eyeshadow like this at all anymore, but at the time I really liked pink eyeshadow. And Dior has stopped doing this packaging, where it was like blue, and then if you hold it up to the light, it has to reflect of the C and the D. And then this one is even cooler, because it slides open, and then the mirror pops up, and then you have these cocky shades. I loved that cocky shimmer, you can tell. I love these shades a lot. Let me see. So those are really old things. I think not everything in here is that old. These I've just kept in here because these were discontinued really quickly over here, and we never got the full range. But they are by Essence, the Dancing Green, and I like to mauve it. So this is a reminder to myself that Essence can do good eyeshadow if they put their minds to it, but they don't always do it. Another case in point, this, oh, I think it's supposed to go this way, but it's got glitter that falls. It's really cute. This is also Essence. This is the Silver Glitter Shadow. No, Glitter Shower eyeshadow palette. And this is really old. Very similar to those Stila palettes that we got around 2015, if you remember those. I really like those. This is really beautiful eyeshadow as well. Ooh, I don't want to drop it. And really good quality from Essence at the time. But that's years old as well. Then I have this guy from Tarte. Just for the packaging alone, I wanted to keep it. Little turtle guy. And then inside it, you have these really beautiful eyeshadows. So you have some like warmer tones, these aqua shades, and these pressed glitters. And these were the only pressed glitters I've ever used that I actually liked. So there's that. But I have a bunch. Before we get to the eyeshadow, I have one more lipstick. This is by Zishi. This is the Palace Identity line that they do, and it comes in these really ornate boxes, and then lipsticks with a dragon on it. I just wanted to keep it for the packaging. This was sent to me in PR. I didn't pay for this with my own money. And this was like the first time I got like proper PR, so it's good to reminisce that as well. A milestone in my online creation career, you could say. And then I think, oh yeah, of course. How could we forget about those? We have this matte blush from Essence. Mine is broken because I use it so much, but this was my favorite Essence blush for a long time. They do this shade a million times over in every single rendition of blushes that they come out with, but this was my favorite, so I kept it. Burberry eyeshadow. Ooh, the little brush is escaping. This has a dent in. I used to wear this all the time. I tried to use it again, I think about a year ago, and then it just didn't feel like it was the same quality anymore, so it was time to declutter it this year. And then everything else that's like loosey-goosey that is in the palette are cheek products. The Too Faced Peach Beach. I used to love this thing to pieces. Oh, so pretty. And the heart shape is just fun. And then in here, oh yeah, this Berries and Bubbly Fruit Cocktail Blush Duos. This is really pretty too, but very sparkly. I still have my Hades blush or highlighter from ColourPop in here. I don't keep too many ColourPop things around, but this I just thought was fun. And the highlighter inside it was okay. This was a Super Shock formula, and it didn't keep the best, you could say. So I had to declutter it very, very quickly, but it was a beautiful product. And this my little travel palette. This goes way, way, way back when. I bought this on one of my first trips to London. I've been going to London every single year since 2009. So this is old. I got it from Harrods. I remember buying this in Harrods at the benefit counter. And it's still like complete and all that with the little brush and the little tweezers. It's got brow products here and then shadows here. Again with the pink. I used to love a pink shadow, but those grays are well loved. It was the Smoke and Ice palette. I wouldn't buy these kind of things anymore now because I know I won't use them. Some limited edition Charlotte Tilbury things, or not limited edition, but Charlotte Tilbury beautiful packaging. The highlighter. And the bronzer. These weren't right for me. They didn't really do much for my complexion, but I can't pass them on to other people because they're so beautiful. I'm a bit of a magpie, we all know that. I have this little palette from Florasis. That's the brand from the lipstick as well. And from that same collection, I've kept the face palette, not the eye palette, but I just really like the way this looked. They also sent me their eyeshadow palette, but I did declutter that last year. That's so beautiful. That was the name I couldn't think of. And then what's left in cheeks are my Melt Raw Honey blush. I should just put this back into my makeup collection. But I wouldn't wear this anymore. I would wear the peachy one, but this is a little bit too dark for me, actually. But I did wear this one the most when I first got them. And then I have, and this box is getting really heavy, and I need to turn it so it doesn't fall off my lap. And this is the first collection of Kaleidos blushes that they did. So they did, I don't remember the names of these because they're not on the packaging, but I've got the bright pink, I've got the brown, and I really just have this in here because it's the full collection. So the orange is in here, the coral, and then I think this is a red. Yeah. But just look at that packaging with the lace. It's just too pretty to get rid of. Then I had, as in I still have it, but I'm no longer using them because they're so old and I don't know what happened to this brand, but I have all of these The Balm cheek products. Who remembers The Balm? Where did they go as a brand? They're one of those brands that just didn't survive, I feel. This is when they decided to do like sustainable packaging. So this is third date. It's going to take a while to undo all of these, I think, and show you the colors inside. But this especially, like, I don't like this color. I don't even know why I bought this, but it was a new product from The Balm, so I had to try it. And the fun bit about it is that you can actually take the pan out really easily too. So, and this is just fun packaging, right? So I have all of the In-Stain blushes, which I had lace for the longest time. It is a bright pink, super duper intense, and these stain. That's why they're called the In-Stain. These were insane in terms of like staying power on your cheeks. But these were the other shades. We had Pinstripe. The colors on the front actually quite correspond to what was in there. Houndstooth was the mauve. That was a favorite. I loved Argyle. This is a baby pink. Toile is more of a reddish tone, and then Swiss Dot is an orange. I got mine really, really late when these were already discontinued from, like, I don't know, some sort of warehouse sale. I found them really randomly online. I think this is one I almost hit pan on, but I couldn't do it. The Take Home the bronzer in the shade Oliver. Like, I got close. Like, you can see this is well loved. And these were discontinued because I think they named them after awards and there was a copyright on it, so they had to discontinue the products. Then the Hot Mama blush, their version of a NARS Orgasm sort of thing. This blush was around everywhere around like 2014, so I had it in like 10 different renditions over the years. And then I just have Balm Beach, Balm Desert, and Balm Springs. Balm Desert, till this day, one of the best bronzers, if you can still find this. This is really, really good as a bronzer for fair skin. Maybe I should pull this in. I'm going to try this. I'm going to put this with my bronzers. Because this is bronzer blush. Do you see that? It says that right there. I'm gonna have to try that. This is just a blush, and the other one is too. Like the shades weren't that special. It's a bit like Third Date. And then this was interesting, but it was far too shiny. It's the Balm Fire, and it has 2 shades in. It's like a dual sort of thing. It's very shiny, sort of NARS Orgasm kind of thing again. But then this cool toned thing, this was just far too sparkly for a blush. Didn't work for that reason, but again, really beautiful packaging. I like the vintagey type of things that they were doing. And then I think, before we get to the rest of the palettes, I have this face palette. This is also Zishi. They sent this to me in PR. Again, one of those first PR packages I ever got. And it's this beautiful, beautiful palette. It's why I keep it in the box, because else these lions or dragons, I think they're dragons, aren't going anywhere. And this is what the palette looks like inside. Really beautiful. Very similar to the Florasis one, though. I think I like the Florasis one better because it's a little easier to store, but there's just something fun about this really ornate, over-the-top kind of packaging if you're a bit of a magpie like me. This one had expired on me, the Club Nebula, so I put it in here. This was by Kaleidos and the first collab that Angelica Newquist ever did, so that's a good one. Then 2 palettes that I didn't love, so then you may wonder, why are you keeping them around? Because I really like the packaging of these, and the color stories are beautiful to look at. Odin's Eye Christmas palette, the Merry Christmas and the Christmas Eve. So I just didn't love the quality of these. I didn't like the formula inside. That was the only thing that was wrong with them. So I'm not likely to use them ever again. But so beautiful to look at. Even if I just whip them out for this video once a year, you know, I'm good. I'm happy. Oh yeah, we have some Natasha Denona in here too. Again, something with like glitters that fall down. This is the Love Cheek palette. A cream next to a powder without any protection. Yeah, shouldn't have bought that. And then I had a couple of the cheek palettes. I actually got this in a little set together with a bronze palette. I was using these a lot when I had to travel a lot for work, but ever since, I haven't reached for these. But this was my favorite of the 2. But I would always combine them, and I could use them as eyeshadow, like do a full face with just those 2 little palettes. It was genius. But as I stopped traveling for my job as much, they just sat in a drawer and I wasn't using them. This discontinued brand, Lime Crime, the Venus Immortalis. Dare I say one of the best ever cool tone palettes? It didn't have a good crease shade though, but she's beautiful. So this is very much a trip down memory lane of like my makeup collection, but also like makeup in general. BH Cosmetics, rest in peace, my favorite palette by them, the Love in London. I decluttered it this year because I wasn't reaching for it anymore. I have plenty of palettes that do this for me now. But BH Cosmetics was such a good brand. Such a good brand. And then these 2 little Viseart palettes, which, will they be coming out with like 12-pan versions of these? I think they will. They came out with the 12-pan version of the Paris version of this palette. I still have that one. And what makes these special is that these have the skylines of the cities that they represent on the back. So this is San Francisco, and the bottom one is London. These weren't really my color stories, though. So I've kept the Paris in the end, but now that I have the 12-pan for the palette Paris, the Paris needs to go in here. Because I'm not going to break up that little collection. Here's the London. I stuck this palette in this year, the Persona Identity palette. I'm sorry, Esther, I know you wanted to have it, but I do really have memories to this palette because I remember tracking this down when I was at Ulta, and then they didn't have it in store. It was only online, and then I had to go online to buy this. I did declutter my Identity 2 a couple of years before this, but I got both palettes at the same time, And I have so many neutral palettes that this is just not something that's top of mind. But it's a beautiful palette. It's formulated with brown eyes in mind, the shades in here. So it was perfect for my complexion, but I was just not reaching for it because I have so many other things. Shall we first do the trip down memory lane, continued, or do we do Essence and Catrice limited edition stuff? So here's the reason why I no longer do Essence and Catrice limited edition stuff. I used to keep all of the eyeshadow palettes that they did in collaboration with Disney. And this box, all of it was just those palettes at some point. So I decluttered my makeup memory box, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But I've kept one from each collection that I reviewed. And this is why I stopped reviewing them, because a lot of these palettes aren't the great quality that I know Catrice and Essence can do. But they are usually really beautiful to look at. But I buy makeup to use it, not to just look at it. But I have one of the Belle palettes from one of the collections. This is the Catrice one. Then this is an Essence palette, I believe, from the same collection, but then they had different Disney characters. Like, I think, like, you know, no, this isn't true. I'm saying the wrong thing. I think there's a different palette that came with this in the Catrice. So Essence would do a set of characters, and then Catrice usually does a set of characters. But this is the Dumbo palette. This is one of the most special color stories they've ever done, ever, in their existence of the brand, at least for how long I've been buying them. Ursula, she's one of my favorite Disney villains, and this is the most Ursula palette that they've done. That was one of my main issues with some of these palettes as well, that not always the color stories would really go with the character it represented. It was weird. This is the palette, I believe, that came with the Dumbo palette. This is the Lady palette. This is really beautiful. This was actually really good quality, but this is one of the very few ones. Had a really beautiful duochrome in. This is the first palette I got. I actually got this through a friend. This is one of the first collections they ever did in collaboration with Disney, and she sent it over to me from Germany, which was really, really sweet. But the Ariel palette was my favorite from that collection, and this has all the colors in for Ariel and other characters in the movie. So we got Flounder in here, little crab guy, we have Ursula representing, you know, it's all here. So, like that palette a lot. This was really beautiful too. This is more of a cool tone color story, the Jasmine palette that had some really beautiful purples and grays in. And then another Ursula palette from a different collection that they did. And this one was terrible quality. Like, really beautiful to look at. The quality wasn't great. And the same for this. This is a beautiful color story, but I wish they did it in better quality. The Cruella palette. And I believe this was the final collection I ever reviewed. And this is why I no longer review so many Essence and Catrice limited edition collections. Because even though they get, like, it's really nice for the views if I do review them. But it does mean that I just end up with lots of products that I don't know what to do with after a while. So I was just decluttering it straight away, which is a bit of a shame. And then I just have palettes left that are very near and dear to me. The Fun Size palette from Sugar Pill. One of the very few pastel palettes I ever got along with. But I have one really good pastel palette and I don't need too many others in my makeup collection. But this is just too much fun to get rid of. The Toasted by Tarte. The Tartelette in Bloom is still in my makeup collection. It's still okay, even though it's like the oldest palette in my makeup collection by now. But I wanted to have like a very fiery warm tone palette in here to represent the fiery warm tones of the 2016 era, you know? Yeah, I just had to. Then one of my most special palettes ever, the Classic Horror by LA Splash. I could never declutter this. It's got Zombie Ladies front and back, which is rare to find a palette that is printed on both sides. It's just your classic rainbow with a holographic background, all matte, but really, really intensely pigmented, which is why I wasn't using it. I have plenty of other rainbow palettes. I didn't need anything like from this palette anymore, but because it is so beautiful and special and with the weird zombie ladies, I'm like, yeah, I want to keep you. I think the oldest item in here actually that has seen actual usage is the Au Naturel from Sleek. This is when they still wrote the name really big on the palette. I think, oh, I can't reach it anymore, but they changed their logo after a couple of years. What they also changed is the way they press the shadows. And this was really similar to the Urban Decay Naked 2, which is a palette that I got after this really quickly. But this was my Urban Decay Naked 2 before I ever owned the Urban Decay Naked 2. And it doesn't look very used because at the time I didn't know you could like do multiple layers of eyeshadow. So I never like dug into my shadows when I was just first starting out. I never did that. And then I have all 3 of my Game Beauty palettes. Again, stunning packaging. They are color stories I just had so many times over, so I didn't need to keep these necessarily in my active makeup collection, but they're just too fun to get rid of. This is the more pastel-y blue one, and then this was my favorite, the what's it called again? Victory palette, with like the warm tones and the pop of teal. But I have warm tones with a pop of teal. KVD, Kat Von D Beauty, the Metamorphosis palette. This was everywhere. I covet this. I think I got this when I went to Boston, 2012. Yeah, 2012. I would, like, for a while, I would travel to the US to buy makeup as well for a long time. Nowadays, we can buy things more so online, but like 15 years ago, it was really difficult sometimes to get things shipped over here. So I went to Sephora all the time then. Whenever I had a trip planned to the US, I would make a beeline for Sephora and CVS like straight away if I could. The chocolate bar, white chocolate bar from Too Faced. I wanted to keep one chocolate bar, and the one that I hold, like the one that's most special to me is this one, because everybody hated it. I loved it. You can see what my favorite shade was. Sugar Plum. This got too old. I was using it every year in the winter time because it works really well on my complexion then, and it wasn't a good look. I also decluttered all of my other Lorac palettes over the time. The Lorac Pro 3 was my favorite. So here's what that looks like. You could see I've got some nice dents in there. This again also got too old to use. And my original Nude Tude, which has a bit of a story to it. I bought this when I was on an interrail trip in Denmark. They were discontinuing the brand from a particular store, and I was able to pick this up for €2. That was a bargain. Didn't use it a lot because it was far too dark for me. And then I have my Beetlejuice Melt Cosmetics collab thing in here. This was limited edition. I didn't like the other color story too much, so that's why I didn't get it. But this is the Waiting Room palette. And here is what that color story looks like. Really, really beautiful. So yeah, that was everything that was in my makeup memory box. Quite a few palettes, of course. A bit of a trip down memory lane of some like older brands that are no longer around. Products that have been discontinued like a long time ago, and just a really, really nice look back on where my makeup journey comes from. So yeah, thanks so much for watching this video here today. Let me know in a comment down below, what are some of your coveted makeup products? Maybe you have a makeup memory box yourself. The only reason why mine is so big is because I have so many palettes in here. If it wasn't for palettes, this thing could have easily been half the size. Oh well. But yeah, I'm going to be testing out that Balm Desert blush bronzer type of thing, because if that means I don't have to go out and buy a bronzer and I already have one, then I may just use that. But we'll see how things go. Thanks so much for watching me here today, and I hope to see you again in a new video soon. Bye bye!